Your case is clean. Your employer begged for you. Your family's packed, and yet no entry. Not because of a new law, not because you did anything wrong, but because the calendar quietly flipped to the month where there are no green card numbers left. Tonight, I'm pulling back the curtain on America's invisible wall, the quiet band you don't see, where backlogs, retrogression, and per-country caps can stall even the strongest application. If you think a stamp in your passport is just a matter of time, buckle up. The line just moved backward. Here's the truth nobody puts in the headline. The US immigration system runs on hard numerical limits. Imagine a nightclub with a strict fire code. Every year there's an exact head count the law allows inside. Family categories get a fixed minimum, employment categories get their own minimum, and when the numbers run out, the bouncer doesn't argue. He closes the door. That's the engine under the hood. It's not about how persuasive your cover letter was, or how much your employer needs you, or how perfect your background check looked. When the last number is used, the door just swings shut with a soft click. You only hear if you're the one still outside. Now add the per-country ceiling, the much-debated 7% rule. It doesn't mean everyone gets 7%. It means no single country can take more than a slice of the yearly pie, unless there are leftovers to redistribute. If demand from your country is heavy, the line stretches around the block, while applicants from lower demand countries stroll through a shorter queue. Two people with identical resumes, identical offers, identical dreams, one breezes ahead, the other waits years. The only difference is the stamp on the passport. That's not rumor, that's how the line is managed when the room is too small for the crowd. And then there's the scoreboard everyone whispers about, the monthly Visa Bulletin. Each month it tells you who can move and who has to wait. If your priority date is earlier than the cutoff, you're in play. If it's later, you sit tight. When too many early dated cases surge toward too few numbers, the bulletin doesn't send apology letters. It retrogresses the date. The finish line scoots backward. People who were almost there overnight become not current. If a category hits its annual limit before the fiscal year resets, it can flip to unavailable. That single letter, U, is the quietest, most frustrating no in immigration. It doesn't make a sound, but it stops everything. End of summer is where this squeeze becomes painfully obvious. Think of the fiscal year as a clock. Late August and September are the last minutes. The system starts rationing the final visa numbers like water at mile 25 of a marathon. Some categories inch forward a week, others freeze, a few slip backward. You can literally watch the rationing happen on paper. Your lawyer calls and says, "Good news, the bulletin moved." You celebrate until you realize it moved in the wrong direction for your category and country. Why does everything feel gridlocked lately? Because demand is massive and it's colliding with the system built to move slowly on purpose. Backlogs swell when filings surge, when agencies pivot to other priorities, or when global events funnel more people into the pipeline all at once. Every application is a story. Biometrics, background checks, interviews, medicals, multiply that by millions. When success depends on 3 different players, the Labor Department for labor certification, the Immigration Agency for petitions and adjustments, and the State Department for interviews and final approvals, one bottleneck compounds the others. It's not a single line, it's 3 lines that merge in a hallway that narrows near the exit.
Walk that hallway with me. First stop, the labor certification for many employment-based cases. Employers recruit, advertise, document, wait. Even under ideal conditions, the process eats months. And if an audit is triggered, add more months. Nothing flashy, no scandal, just the clock ticking while your offer letter gathers dust. Then comes the immigrant petition, and, if your date is current, the adjustment of status. Premium processing can speed certain steps, but it doesn't create new visa numbers. It's like paying for express shipping when the item is out of stock. You'll get a faster label on the box, but the factory still has to build the thing. So applicants end up in a strange limbo. They can live and work on temporary documents, renew and re-renew, raise kids, pay taxes, yet the permanent finish line hovers behind a moving date on a monthly chart. If you're outside the US, the National Visa Center gathers your documents and tells you when your case is documentarily complete. That phrase feels like a win, and it is, but But it's not a boarding pass. It simply means you're ready to be scheduled for an interview when a slot opens and when your category is actually current. Some consulates are quick, others are swamped. Real life keeps happening while you refresh your status page. Leases expire, job offers wait, family plans stretch. The process doesn't send alarms, it just doesn't move. Family-based immigrants feel the same math in different lanes. A sibling petition from a high-demand country can be a time capsule from another decade. A spouse category in one region sails, while a parent category elsewhere stalls. Investors watch their subcategories fill up and flip unavailable, even when the project is real and the money is clean. Students who pivot to work visas, hoping for a long-term path, learn the hard truth. A brilliant resume can't outrun a calendar. Let's humanize this. A software engineer is leading a team that will launch a product in 6 months. Their immigrant petition gets approved, their adjustment is pending, their work permit lets them keep the lights on. Everyone's excited until the bulletin retreats. Now they're renewing temporary status again, juggling international travel risk against family emergencies, measuring every vacation in what if my interview comes. The resume didn't change, the need didn't change, the number changed. A nurse trained for critical care watches hospital wards overflow. Their category has a special lane that helps bypass labor certification, and still the annual cap says no. The patient load doesn't care about the cap doesn't care about the patient load. Somewhere in the middle sits a person whose career is ready and whose life is on pause. A family with kids hits documentarily complete, hugs everyone on a video call, promises to book flights soon, and then learns that their consulate is scheduling months out and their category isn't current anyway. They didn't misread the rules just moved. If you feel manipulated by retrogression, it's not personal, it's a pressure valve. When demand surges beyond supply, the system moves the goalposts so the numbers line up by September 30th. Nobody gets a confetti cannon when the math balances. They get a new set of dates and the instruction to wait for the next month's chart. It's the slowest plot twist in government. So what can you do when the gatekeeper is a spreadsheet? Treat your priority date like gold. Know it, track it, check it monthly. If you have a spouse from a different, lower demand country, ask a qualified professional about cross-chargeability. Sometimes changing the country that your case is charged to can transform a timeline. Keep your case pristine, medicals up to date, addresses accurate, background documents clean, responses to any agency requests immediate and complete. If your case could qualify under more than one employment category, explore whether a second petition or a category shift makes sense. Sometimes the traffic jam is worse in one lane than another, and you want to be positioned to move when the faster lane opens. For employers, stop treating green card approval as a routine 12-month HR milestone. Plan like a supply chain manager. Build buffers for start dates. Consider remote or hybrid contingencies if consular processing becomes necessary. And be honest with candidates. Saying 6 months and done is a fantasy that sets everyone up for disappointment. Transparency beats talent churn. For families, prepare for a marathon with sprint finishes. These cases crawl, and then suddenly, they move. One morning, your date becomes current, and the pace flips from glacial to frantic. Use the waiting period strategically. Learn licensing requirements if your profession needs it, study school districts, sort out finances and credit history if you're already in the US, and keep your documents scanned and ready. A long quiet can end with a loud email. Is this a crackdown in disguise? The quiet ban doesn't need a headline or a press conference. It's baked into the statute. Annual limits, per-country ceilings, and monthly rationing through a bulletin. Reformers argue to raise or remove caps. Others warn that doing so would disadvantage smaller countries or other categories. Years pass. Bills come and go. Meanwhile, people wait in lines they cannot see, governed by numbers they cannot control. Here's the most honest way to frame it. America didn't need a dramatic new policy to slow legal immigration. It already has a quiet one. The math. The lines are real. The waits are real. And if you're caught in it, the smartest move isn't to panic. It's to prepare. Keep your file immaculate. Keep your expectations realistic. And keep your eyes on that monthly chart. When the door opens, even a crack, you move. That's how you beat a quiet ban, not with noise, but with readiness.